Okay, so today's quick lecture is on using the VIU library tool to help us search for articles to support our research essays. So we come to VIU's general web page, viu.ca, and when we get here, we go to the current student bar and we're going to click that. Now we scroll down and under learning support, you'll see that there is a little notation here that says library. So we're going to click on that one. And now this is the general search window. And we're writing an essay, a research essay on the novel Obasan by Joy Kogawa, a really powerful novel. And we're going to use the library tool to help us refine our search. Now, we've talked already about how there are kind of three different levels of acceptable support materials: bronze, silver, and gold. Obviously, we're aiming for gold, but for the purpose of the essay, I'll also accept silver. Now, the main difference here is just the currency. How recently was the article published? Um, Gold standard is within the last 10 to 12 years. It's a peer-reviewed journal article, and basically it's something that's written with an academic method and academic format. So we can go over here and click peer reviewed in our filter window on the left hand side. This is going to immediately help us to um, narrow down our search into the right level of types of resources that we're looking for. We can click full text online. That basically means that you'll be allowed to download the article from whatever database we find it, because basically what this tool that we're on, VIU's library search tool, is doing is it's sifting through all of the different academic databases that VIU has licensing agreements with. And then finally, we could go down here and we could filter the time period of publication. But I think that what we'll find is that even just with these two clicks up here, we're going to get a pretty excellent filtration going on for our resources. And then you can look at the dates of publication within the actual kind of capture snapshot of the information. So then it just comes down to fiddling around with our keywords. So I'm looking at doing essay prompt number 3. And if we review our essay prompt here, let's see, where's our essay prompt? Here it is. So if we look, my essay prompt is it's looking at remembering and forgetting, and it also has kind of sub connections to the ideas of discrimination and self-identity. There it's also indicating what types of resource support we need, and timeline is another factor, as we can see here. So those are all of our keywords that we might then want to add into the window. But before we do even that, I'll just kind of have a general look about what came up. So this is 2012. That's enough to qualify as gold. Canadian multiculturalism and the Japanese Canadian internment. I'm sure there's going to be something valuable there. So I click our little folder and it saves the document here. This one looks like it might be useful as well. So it looks like it might be more of a general resource, but again, looking at the currency and the journal English Studies in Canada, there might be some value within that article for me. Penelope, the Penelope work of forgetting. So there's that key word that comes directly from my prompt. So I'm going to grab this one too. Anti-hero, trauma and witnessing in Joy Kogawa's Obasan. That looks good. I'm going to grab that one as well. I am Canadian. So this comes down to the idea of self-identity. So that's another really good one. Okay, so reclaiming identities. So right now already you can see that even by just using the name, we've Kogawa, the author's name, and the title of the book, we've already gleaned 6 powerful resources in our search. Time, okay. To 1999. That one's a little bit old. 2011. That's right on the cusp. novel of memory, double wound of trauma and joy. So these all look good. So now I've got 7 resources, and I'm feeling confident that out of those 7, I'm going to be able to get some useful data. So then I'll go ahead, and what I've just done there is, as you notice, that once we come over to that saved folder, like if we click here, we can toggle back. This is our general search. When we click on that saved folder, this shows us the items that those 7 items we've just pulled into cache to send to ourselves later. So then we go up here, and we can actually use this little citation genie, if you want to call it that, to shift the data into APA format. So now we've got all of these in proper reference form, and with this essay you have to use in-text citation, but you're also going to build a reference list to go at the end of the essay. So we need to use this conversion tool, or else you're going to have to spend hours bullying the data from those articles into the correct format. Now it's in an acceptable format, so we can email to ourselves. I'm going to go ahead and put in my personal email here, and then I say these 7 articles look like they will fulfill my citation requirements for the essay. Okay, just a little note to myself so I know what's up here. Then I do a little confirmation that I'm not a robot, and I can send that. So if I was to go now to my email account, those would appear there. But before we finish, let's also talk about how to download one of these articles directly. So we go over here and we click on this link. Now this should take us to the sign-in process. And you're going to put, for you guys, it's probably going to be your student numbers and then whatever password you've established through the library to access their services. So this is a good practice to do, just to make sure that you do have your library account set up properly. And now you can see here what it's saying is ProQuest is the name of the database. So there's hundreds of databases that what they do is they basically keep like a digital library of academic resources, and these are all peer reviewed. And we can see here, there's the author's name. This is the journal. We've got our DOI. DOI is a digital object indicator, and that's basically like a serial number for a piece of intellectual property. We can see this one's a little bit older, so this would still qualify as silver and would be acceptable. Now we download the article. So this is the valuable part for us as students, because now we actually have a digital copy of the resource on our computer. So then I'm going to go ahead and save this, and we can see that I'm going to set up a new folder, and you can see that on my computer I've got all of the modules for our English class nicely saved. And then this is going to be Obasan resource 1. Perfect. And then I'm going to just go ahead and save that into that module 4C. And so I'm golden. Then I can go back here and I can say, okay, that one looked pretty good. Now let's get another one. So these are all different articles, and I would want to go through and systematically make sure that I can grab each one of them. And you'll also see that this is another thing that might happen, is that sometimes articles, we think we might be able to get access to them, but we can't seem to do it through a normal means. And that's why we kind of go through and check these. This one seems to be a no-go. So that's a good thing we check that. So then we know that that second one, anti-hero, is not going to be useful. Let's check this one here. So remember, your goal is to get 3 to 5 usable resources. This one looks better. And there we go. So we've got our second one. This one is from the Johns Hopkins University Press. Wonderful. So I'll just go ahead, download that. And yes, we're just going to rename this Obasan Resource 2. And then we can save into Module 4C. So now we can see that what we're doing is we're building up our bank of resources. And you should really devote an afternoon to making sure that you get all of your resources lined up and properly downloaded into a specific area like I'm doing. So you can see that once I put in my key code to the library website once, we're good to go. So just rename all of these Obasan Resource 3. And this is useful because you can see, yeah, again, where we're getting a chance to look at a few different databases and what they look like. And what you're always looking for is you're looking for this little symbol here that'll say download the PDF. And then once it's gone to your download box, I always kind of resave it into a specific area. Obasan Resource 4. This one's a little bit short. It's more of a one sheet kind of summary, but at the same time, we might find something useful there, and we do have authorship. It's a bit of like a summary, a one sheet summary. Second wave feminists theorize of child abuse at the early circulation of trauma theory and the rise of the child as an emblem of the cosmopolitan humanitarian imagery. The novel's condensation of these elements into a narrative of that intimate impact of state-directed violence laid the conventions of the whole discursive field stretched from English departments to state apologies. So this is powerful, even though it's a very short, kind of one paragraph commentary on the content of the novel. We can definitely grab at least one citation out of here, and we will be looking at how to do that over the next week. But essentially, we should now feel fairly comfortable looking at and using the library search tool. And so you could see that if we do change, like let's say that we really wanted to focus in on the idea of if your paper was on loss. I know that many of you are using that as your prompt. So then once you do, you just change your keyword up here, right? And so then boom, the dangerous circuit loss and the boundaries of racialized subjectivity in Joy Kugawa's. Like, this is excellent. Even though it's a little bit older, it would still qualify as a silver. I've already grabbed that one, but yeah, that one looks good. Then over your the dangerous circuit loss and the boundaries, that one's the same as the one up above. But what you'll see is that by playing with after Obasan, so there's something there. This one might be useful. So basically, excellent. So lots of resources available. And then we just play around with our keywords, and even switching the order can be useful. And you just need to remain determined. Use your grit factor and just keep searching, keep switching your keywords until you get 3 to 5 sources that you feel comfortable using.